Cyrodiil, a mage strides tall. Sorcerer, the battleborn, feared by them all. Lightning crackles in his hands, flames in his eyes. Enemies tremble when they hear his war cries. Battlegrounds echo with his arcane wrath, leaving scorched earth in his fiery path. Imperial City's alleys dark and wide turn to death traps where Sorcerer hides. Sorcerer, the mage of war, casting spells, leaving foes no more. From Cyrodiil's hills to the battlegrounds fight, he's the flame in the dark, the storm in the night. A circle shattered by his blast, no mercy given, no reprieve will last. Snares and stuns, his staff strikes true, even the boldest fall when his storm breaks through. Sneaking through the sewers, the Telvar to claim, Imperial shadows whisper his name. His enemies falter, their pride erased by the mage with a fury no one can face. Sorcerer, the mage of war, casting spells, leaving foes no more. From Cyrodiil's hills to the battlegrounds fight, he's the flame in the dark, the storm in the night. Enchanted, his tactics refined, a predator's patience, a brilliant mind, with warded shields and a frostbite glare. Sorcerer's power is beyond compare. Battles rage on, banners raise high, but none can match the might of Sorcerer. Kings and soldiers, warriors and thieves, all bow down as his magic weaves. Sorcerer, the mage of war, casting spells, leaving foes no more. From Cyrodiil's hills to the battlegrounds fight, he's the flame in the dark, the storm in the night. So sing the song of the PvP king, of fire and frost and the chaos he brings. Sorcerer, the legend, his name will endure, a battle mage glory forever.
Hello YouTube denizens, David Storm here with Retro Gamers Guild, and I'm bringing you my Dark Elf Sorcerer build, Magicka Sorcerer, and we'll just jump right into it. I am running Mighty Chudan, Cuirass of the Trainee, Oak Fathers, Retribution, and Ancient Grace. For the head, we got a heavy max health reinforced. The arms are medium reinforced, max magicka. The chest is heavy reinforced, max magicka. The gloves are Nirnhoned because they're light. That's going to give you the max resistance. And that's max magicka. Sash, Nirnhoned, max magicka. And breeches, max magicka and Nirnhoned, and the shoes, max magicka, Nirnhoned, light, all of them. Death Dealer's feet. I tried a lot of different marking and all of the different rings. This one definitely does the best over time. I've got a weapon and spell damage enchant with max magicka. The Ancient Grace necklace is arcane with magicka recovery. And then we have a ring of Oakfather's Retribution, stamina recovery, because we do use some stamina for one of our skills, and we need for dodge rolling, etc. And we've got some low sustain on this build, so you have to be very careful with your sustain. If you want better sustain, instead of Mighty Trudan, you could run Engine Guardian. That would give you better sustain. But I have Stamina Recovery and Arcane on this. Then on the Lightning Staff, we're using a Crusher enchant with Sharpened. We're trying to go full spell penetration on this character. Maximize that spell penetration as much as possible. On the back bar, we've got a Sword of Ancient Grace defending. And on the shield, we have reinforced max stamina. On our skills, we are running Inner Light for the weapon and spell critical rating, as well as increasing our max Magicka by 5% on the front bar. Running Crystal Weapon. This really hits hard, and since we're weaving light attacks in between our attacks anyway, this really puts on a lot of pressure. Endless Fury. Don't need to explain this one. Shocking Soul. We're running damage on the first two, and we're putting Major Breach on them with the third one. So it's a nice burst of damage and Major Breach all at the same time. Healing Contingency. A nice burst heal with a heal over time. And it also grants us Minor Intellect and Minor Endurance for 22 seconds, increasing our Magicka and Stamina recovery by 15%. Very helpful on this build. Dawnbreaker of Smiting. It's there for the passive under Guild Fighters, the Slayer passive, which increases our weapon and spell damage by 3%. On the back bar, we're running Dark Convergence. Great spell to convert your stamina back into Magicka. Critical Surge. Keep this up at all times. Increases your weapon and spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds, as well as critical hits will heal you. So it's a nice passive heal. Bound Aegis, we don't use this. We don't actually activate it. It's just there for it's slottable for your max Magicka, which is increased by 8%, as well as minor resolve and minor protection for our physical and spell resistance, as well as reducing damage taken by 5%. Streak, I don't think I need to talk about this one. It's a great stun and great for getting away. Since we're a little slow we're very slow on this build. Streak is our mobility. Hardened Ward. I went with this over the bird simply because the bird kept getting killed both in Battlegrounds and out in Cyrodiil, and it just wasn't reliable enough for me when I needed it, so I went with Hardened Ward. In Cyrodiil, with the setup we have, I'm running an 11k shield and about an 8 or 9k shield in BGs. And then Power Overload. Try to keep this up as much as possible. This is our major damage with Crystal Weapon. They all hit at the same time. So your light attack, your Power Overload, and your Crystal Weapon will be a lot of damage. And then you add the Shocking Soul in, which is giving them the Major Breach. And you've got a lot of penetration on this build. You've got a lot of power. For our, since we do run this in Cyrodiil and Imperial City, Deadly Aim, Master at Arms, Fighting Finesse, Arcane Supremacy. And for the fitness, I'm running Bastion, Celerity, Pain's Refuge, and Fortified. If you want to swap out Bastion for Sustain by Suffering, you can do that. On our crafting, I'm running Steed's Blessing, Gifted Rider, Liquid Efficiency, and Rationer, all important in Cyrodiil in my opinion. And for our food, I personally like running the Orzorga's Smoked Bear Haunch, mainly because of the recoveries. I I've done the Artaeum. You do a little more damage with it, but your sustain is not nearly as good. I've tried Bewitched Sugar Skulls, Clockwork Citrus, and Jewels, and nothing really worked as well as the Orzorga's Smoked Bear Haunch. It's expensive, but well worth it. We are a Stage 3 vampire, as you can see here, and we're running the Lover Mundus to increase our penetration. You can see right now our penetration is sitting at 13,619. That goes up to around 16,000. And then with the Oak Fathers, adding offensive penetration against enemies with major buffs. If you have the ring on, the Oaken Soul Ring, you're going to be doing a lot of damage against those people. Or if you're running against a ball group and the Zerg, they have a lot of buffs on them from different players. So if one strays from the pack and outside of the healing, you're going to be bursting them down so fast they're not going to be able to heal. You hit them super hard because they have so many major and minor buffs on them. So I think that pretty well covers the build. Let's go over the rotation. Oh yes, and our resistances. On the front bar is 28,000. On the back bar is 32,180. We're sitting at 36,000. Actually, on the front bar, we're sitting at 39,000. That goes up because of death dealers. And max health 30,000. So let me just make sure that I am running. Yes, I am running the Orzorgas. All right. So what I did there was cast the healing contingency, switched to my back bar, and cast critical surge. I use bar swapping to make it a little quicker. You can use bar swap. But for the crystal weapon, you're going to want to use bash. Like that. So this is the full, and this is the animation canceling. So I'm animation canceling with the switching to the back bar and then back to the front bar on the buff, and then on the crystal weapon, I'm using a bash, and then the same on the shocking soul and the burst. What is it called? Endless Fury. I can never remember that. So we buff up, and then our rotation is going to be Crystal Weapon, Light Attack, Shocking Soul, Light Attack, Endless Fury, Light Attack. So it looks like this. Oh, and you'll want to put on your, switch to your back bar, put on your Power Overload, and then this is what it looks like. So you're looking at around 32,000 DPS right there. That's just on the dummy, of course. But it is a lot of damage coming down line really fast. So if I do the same rotation here and then stop it, you can see that's 42,000. So that what we're doing is burst. I'll do about 1.2 million in a battleground, and other people are doing 2-3 million, but that's because they're running a lot of damage over time, a lot of dots. And dots, when you put them on a lot of different people, start to add up to a lot of damage, but you won't necessarily get kills. With this build, you will get a lot of kills. I think the 33 kills in one match that I had, because you're bursting them down really fast, and you have one of the best executes in the game. Endless Fury is one of the best executes in the game. Now, sometimes if I have my Power Overload up and I see someone at around half to a quarter, I will simply do this rotation here of Endless Fury and Light Attack with the power overload. That's a lot of damage. So, see about 17,000 DPS there. But that's a really nice combo to use if to finish them off. But let's see, if we have our potion running and we're buffed up, we're at 1,859 and 1,567 for Magicka and stamina recovery. So nothing to write home about, but it's not terrible with the Orzorga's smoked bear haunch. So that's the build. I hope you enjoy it. I've had a lot of fun with it. It is really great at 1vx, and it's pretty mobile, and yeah, it's just it's great in BGs, Cyrodiil, Imperial City, and if you have someone like a warden running with you, if you're two-manning it, I'm always solo, but if you're two-manning out in Cyrodiil or Imperial City, you can do really well with this build if you got, say, a pocket healer, where you don't have to be resetting a lot as far as going in and out. But what I would say with this build is watch your stamina and your Magicka, because you're using both on this build, and it's a burst damage build, so you're going to not be just endlessly attacking. You want to watch for opportunities and just burst people down. So I hope you enjoy it. For Retro Gamers Guild, I'm David Storm.